Hello to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. Recently in Polish political debate there was a lot said about a very sensitive topic of abortion. And here today we would like to approach this topic but from a different perspective, and this is a philosophical one. Here with me is Marek Kądzielski, a former student of Prof. Bogusław Wolniewicz. Thank you very much for coming to us.
Thank you for inviting me.
And of course, I would say abortion triggers a lot of emotion, and it's also a very sensitive topic, which is the easiest way to put fire in every group and in every society. And I would think that, I would say that it was a little bit used politically recently in Poland as well. That's why I would say it's so important to look at it differently from a perspective of a logic thinking and philosophical thinking, even though philosophical thinking always have some assumptions, and that's not, we always need to say what assumptions are. But here, Bogusław Wolniewicz, Professor Bogusław Wolniewicz, one of the greatest minds of 20th century when it comes to philosophy, takes this topic as a very important one and says that basically both sides of this quarrel are wrong.
Yes, this is what Wolniewicz believes, that both sides, even more, they are not only wrong, they are cheating in this debate. First, Wolniewicz analyzes the syllogism, so he finds that the...
But one moment, here, fills up. Syllogism is a form of thinking taken from the...
Of logical formula
from the
on the basis
Greek.
of which we are reasoning for or against some choices. And he says that the syllogism is as follows. It says that zygote is a human being. You can never kill a human being, so consequently you may never make an abortion. First, he analyzes if we think about human being, when it starts. And he finds that there are only two options which are not controversial, in his opinion. First, that upon conceive, when two gametes are made zygote, before they start changing, from this moment a human being starts, or from the moment of birth, of delivery. So Wolniewicz believes that the human being starts obviously from the moment of conceive, from the moment of conception, and this is undisputable for him. Because this is, in his opinion, this is a typical, I mean, it's a perfect example of entelechia as Aristotle used to put forward this concept.
So Aristotle said that everything, every creature has something in potential, and a zygote, so embryon, what he has in potential, she has in potential, is only to become human. The zygote cannot become something else.
Precisely. The zygote can become only human, and it's a human being in statu nascendi, in the process of development. But it is already a human being. But what Wolniewicz says, we have two sides of this dispute. He labels roughly as liberal and Catholic, let's say, in our reality. So the liberals say that the zygote is not a human being, so it's nothing wrong to put some terms and to provide for a free abortion at will of a woman, because it's not a killing of men, in simple words, while the church says that you may never kill a man, and the zygote is a human being, so that we may never allow for abortion. And Wolniewicz says strongly, both those arguments are wrong, because this is obvious for him that the zygote is a human being, but on the other hand, it is not true that we may never kill a man.
And in which conditions?
Because if we ever agree that we can make an abortion, like we agree that if this is dangerous, directly dangerous to women's life or health, in actuality, we agree that there are some conditions that we may kill a man. He also points out that even church accepts something like war that is justified when we kill each other in a war. Church used to justify capital punishment in some instances. So it is not that the Church always opposes elimination of a human being. And Wolniewicz believes that only if we put this so strictly, that this is a killing of a man, we can impose some conditions when we may do this. Because he says what he believes, that this is extremely rare. Because what he believes, that in the first instinct, a woman is always protecting a child, because this is a sacrum of life and this is a mystery behind it. So instinctively, a woman is never on the position to kill her own child. There might be some special circumstances. But here comes the reality, and what he says, that there are two types of abortion. One of them that are based, that are reckonless, that are not reasonable, and others that derive from despair. So when a woman sees no other option, no other way. And what Wolniewicz believes, that if we agree that there are some terms under which we can make an abortion, this must not be any utilitarian values. This must be something fundamental and unique, because killing a man is always something bad. But if we allow for this, this means that we want to prevent something even worse.
For example, when we go to war and we give up our lives and we kill lives because we think that the freedom of a state is a bigger value.
Yes, in terms of abortion, we believe that if women's life is endangered, directly endangered, we may make an abortion because we are defending her life. Is it the only reason? Wolniewicz says, no, there are some instances where there's a value of women's independence from men's domination, simply. And if that's at stake, we should leave the decision to the woman, but first we should do everything to avoid it. And what he also points out, and what he found, that in every act regulating abortion so far, the abortion was perceived as a tragedy that is between a woman, a child, and a doctor. And he says this is ultimately false also, because there's always a man behind it. And in every legal regulation, he is left totally irresponsible. And Wolniewicz says strongly, when it comes to a child of a man, his first duty is to be there and defend it, and defend a child. So he is liable, not only responsible, but he should be liable under law to protect life of his child. And only if it's impossible...
To protect the child of the life.
Yes, to protect.
Well, usually...
And he should be persuaded for inclining for first-degree murder if he agrees for abortion. First of all, when he says, it's a problem, I will give you some money, get rid of it. And Wolniewicz says it's inclining for first-degree murder. We have paragraphs for this in the penal code. So it shouldn't be so easy for men.
Absolutely, I would agree on this. And I think we put a full stop here, though that this article is extremely interesting, especially for both sides who are just screaming at each other. It's always important to refer to philosophical thoughts which clarify the argument and usually put the emotions also down. So we recommend and send you to the philosophical text of Bogusław Wolniewicz called Philosophy and Values. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.